so that no one else can snag it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and then we're give it a place to hang out in the shade on vacation.
I love it. Because I drove by the other day and go, oh, it's gone forever.
Yeah, the sad thing is that could be a portal that's opening there.
Portals?
Portal to the dark side. I've been anticipating one to appear while Trump was still president. Now I realize that might be what that sign being down has opened.
Yeah.
The wrath of some sort of, evil spirits could come out of that.
Sure.
If we don't get the sign back.
So how did you end up with it?
I originally was going to pay for some of the transportation of the sign to a new location, and when it became clear that it couldn't be saved at least right away as a historical landmark, I talked with Dr. Lim about maybe bringing it over here, and he liked the idea, but I didn't have enough details on the sign, so last Thursday I decided to drive by there. I think that was the 6th. And I drove by just to check the measurements, and there was a truck there, which did not make sense, that was obviously there to take down the sign.
Oh,
So
really?
I freaked out at first, put out like an emergency call on Instagram that we got to do something about this. And then I went and parked my car and started trying to figure out what was going on.
Where was the truck going to take it?
They wouldn't answer any questions. They wouldn't say who they work for. They wouldn't say if they would break it or not. And therefore, it was just too suspicious. And I knew the people were involved, so I was working on getting them on the phone and trying to get answers at the same time. But they wouldn't. The more I asked, the less questions they'd answer. So I went into the hotel, which were where the property owners were, and they would say, they're not here, we'll send them a message. So I kept going back and forth until finally I just sat down under the sign and they couldn't move their crane. So,
Civil disobedience. I was in the end. I love it.
They called the cops, but, I know the cops won't do anything when they come around here, so that would be surprising. But once they couldn't work, the owners showed up lickety-split.
Yeah.
So how were you able to get the sign?
Well, once I got the doctor on the phone with the owners, and they started saying stuff like he left the sign here, it's not his sign, and stuff like this. They finally got an agreement with the doctor. They said, okay, look, it's not going to break. We'll bring down the sign and I'll keep it. They'd pass it to me for safekeeping. So I went and got a truck, and we, later that day loaded it up.
That's awesome.
And then we worked our way and
and this is the perfect solution, right? Because rather than destroy it and then have the neighborhood hate them, right? That you found a good place for it, they got rid of it, which they wanted to. Everybody wins at the end.
yeah, well, that's basically seems to be it. They really just wanted it off that
Yeah.
location because there's nothing going on that location yet that would require it to be coming down without the neighborhood being a part of it.
Right.
And
Exactly.
they weren't really negotiating for anything to allow it to stay and even discussing it with anyone. So the fact that they picked the doctors one day off to try and slide this thing down, we can't say for sure that they were going to steal it, but they were taking it out of sight, out of mind, and try to avoid any potential conflict. At least, but it was fun to, be there before the first screw was taken out, and then I was able to monitor it coming down, and it was, it's a little bigger than I thought it was.
So is the plan to move this to the new location?
Yeah, we got to get a budget and see what the logistics are. Architectural plans to maybe build another sign. I don't know if it will rotate or not, but ideally, yes. That's one of the problems is that because the doctor wasn't just going out of business, he has another location at Virgil and Beverly. Basically, it could be the option, he could move his sign there, but he would have to get the permits and architectural plans, et cetera, and build a pole.
So there's a possibility he can't use this sign. And would you keep it here?
I'd love to keep it here, and that would be, kind of, I'd like to think of it as one old thing helping another. So it's an old sign, and depending upon, what the new sign requirements would be, it'd be great to put this one back where it belongs, though, because something needs to block that portal that's on Benton Way and Sunset before evil escapes.
And do you own this place?
Yes.
What's your name?
Bill.
Bill. How's it going, Bill?
Good.
Well, for all of us who love this sign, we really do appreciate what you've done.
All right,
So
cool.
thank
I'll show
you.
you the